I want to introduce everybody to our lovely organizations that will be taking you through their experience and their knowledge that relates to sustainability and how you engage your teams. So our first organization is Baotree. So it is essentially a platform that helps organizations to track, measure, and monitor all of their sustainability efforts in a way that engages your whole team and gives you oversight and insights into the impact that you are making to be able to tell your stories to the world, essentially. And complemented with Baotree is Asia Sustainable Travel and Travel Asia Now, who is all about supporting the travel industry to make sustainability a part of their everyday practice and to allow organizations to focus on communicating their stories and their impact so that they can move beyond just ticking boxes, but actually connecting with people, connecting with audiences, and telling their stories. So your speakers, I will hand over to them very shortly, but I would like to welcome from Baotree is Dimitri Souris, who is the CEO and founder of Baotree, as well as Rhea Tabora, who is the founding editor of Travel Asia Now and the co-founder of Asia Sustainable Travel. So over to both of you.
Thank you, Lauren and Rhea. I'm going to pass the microphone to you to kick us off.
Good day, everyone. Good afternoon from the Philippines. My name is Rhea, and as Lauren mentioned, I'm the co-founder of Asia Sustainable Travel and the founding editor-in-chief of Travel Asia Now. Just a brief background about me and the companies I represent, although Lauren has already briefly mentioned a while ago. So AST is a media and intelligence company that delivers sustainability editorial content and Asia-focused marketing solutions for hospitality and travel brands. So it's basically a B2B publication. Travel Asia Now, on the other hand, is a digital B2C publication that inspires meaningful and mindful exploration of Asia. And I just want to mention also that I'm a former hotelier, so I understand where you are now. I spent over a decade leading sales and marketing, revenue management, and reservations for a global hospitality brand. And I also helped set up the service residence business unit for one of the largest conglomerates in Vietnam. I'm now a travel journalist, pursuing my passion in writing. I'm a publisher, and I'm also a certified meaningful tourism trainer. Now, for our today's topic, I want you to picture this together for a moment. What gives sustainability wasn't just something handed down from the management, but a shared passion that excites every person on your team. Today, Dimitri and I will share practical ways to tap into that collective energy and turning sustainability into something everyone feels part of and proud to drive forward. Dimitri, would you like to say a few words before we move on?
Thank you, Rhea. Well, just to echo, well, firstly, I'm not a hotelier, but I am someone who's an absolute bushman in my heart and a technologist in my mind, and my career has always been around how to utilize data in an ethical, transparent, and trustworthy way to communicate your story, but also how to include everyone within sustainability, within measuring impact, within telling a story that isn't just for one to tell, but it's for the many. And as Ray has mentioned with Lauren's introduction, this is really the point of the conversation, is that often it can be quite overwhelming. It can be hectic. It can be heavy. I'm calling from South Africa. That's maybe where you're catching this accent from. But the point is that it can be everyone's responsibility. Just with a few tools and recommendations and implementation mechanisms, it can be done in a simple way. So, Ray, I know you've got your first slide upcoming, and so I'll hand back to you. And Lauren, we can start the journey. Great to see everyone.
Thanks, Dimitri. Are we moved? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So we just want to, ground our discussion and share some interesting statistics here from Great Place to Work. So as we can see here, 67% of job seekers are more likely to apply to companies that prioritize environmental responsibility. So this means when employees believe their work truly makes a difference, they are 4 times more likely to go the extra mile, 11 times more likely to stay, and 14 times more likely to look forward to their jobs. Now, what do these numbers mean? These numbers tell us one thing, that sustainability matters to your team. Your team is already motivated to contribute. They just need the right tools, leadership, and structure to turn that motivation into action. And Dimitri and I will dive deeper into this in just a moment. Next slide, please, Lauren.
Rhea, so just a
Yeah.
quick comment there
Yes.
on that one. I love where it says employees, just on the previous one, Lauren. There's
Yeah.
an asterisk, and it says millennials.
Millennials, yes,
And I
because
just think
yeah,
I was going to say that's fascinating because it is the next generation that's coming up
correct.
that is caring about conscious living, conscious traveling, and sustainability. And if today's hotel tourism industries aren't building with the mindfulness of the next generation coming in, not just as an experienced traveler, but also as an employee, I think it's important that we stop thinking about all these 4x, 11x, 14x.
Yeah, yep.
It's a full industry. It's not just tourism. It's like globally.
Yes.
I think people want more purpose and meaning with regards to the roles. So it's back to you. I just thought that was entertaining.
Yeah, thanks, Dimitri. Okay, so now let's break down, the silos for sustainability, and this is our objective here. Because as I was doing this, research, how many of us have seen sustainability initiatives fail because it was treated as someone else's job? So it's either the housekeeping department is just putting the all the efforts or all the responsibility to the sustainability manager, and too often sustainability efforts get stuck in these silos. And during the past years that I've been interviewing hoteliers, and prior to that as a hotelier, I have seen countless properties where marketing teams promote eco-friendly initiatives, and F&B department, for example, still uses single-use plastics, or there are instances where housekeeping pushes for eco-friendly products while the maintenance department runs on outdated methods. And what this highlights is that there is a lack of alignment, and there is a disconnect between departments and unified actions across them. So individual actions, we all agree, are the building blocks of team success. But to move forward and make meaningful change, we must break down these silos. So the best approach is to come together to achieve a shared goals, because sustainability, after all, is a team effort. And the first step is intentional collaboration, as we can see on this diagram, which Dimitri will elaborate on the next slides. Over to you, Dimitri.
Thank you, Rhea. So, as you've just heard, fundamentally, we're talking about building trust, sustainability, creating the ability to sustain something. It must be everyone's business. And so by making, as you saw in Rhea's diagram, all those different departments hold a lot of different individuals who collectively we can help in decentralizing purpose, giving someone else a sense of meaning beyond food and beverage, or managing housekeeping, or managing the kitchen, or wherever it might be. And so the point is to make sustainability accessible so that everyone, again, can participate, and it acts as an engagement tool. I mean, hospitality tourism, it's a very busy industry. Everyone is always running around trying to do everything at the same time. So how do we break this down, slow it down to create an element of social engagement? But also talk about this word impact. It's a very ambiguous word that often is thrown around with not much tangibility or meaning. But by making sustainability in a responsibility of all your team members, there's an education component that comes through. And by including everyone, they will start to learn about how to manage water, waste, energy. They'll take it from what they've learned at work to their home. The same with conservation or community efforts. If everyone is involved, or at least has visibility, again, it's a lovely ripple effect of education. Next dot, please, Lauren. And so I think we all love food. Does everyone love food? Just raise your hand if you've got your camera on. I love food.
Yes, of course.
And now we all have that delicious thing that either our mom or our dad or at our favorite restaurant or hotel, we love the ingredients of what it is that we eat when it comes together. And so to make the perfect dish, to ignite a memory or to ignite a new experience, we need the right ingredients. And so sustainability is the same thing, where you've got multiple different departments that make up your hotel or your tourism operations ingredients. And part of that is the sustainability. How does everyone again get included to create that dish with the chef, the sous chef, the back of house, the person cutting and chopping, the person cleaning the dishes afterwards? It's the full experience. And so every team member matters. Next dot, please, Lauren. And in saying that, I'm sure we're all familiar with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. This is something, look, Baotree is a technology platform. We've been building our system for the last 5 years across, well, built in Africa, for Africa and the world. And we help tourism organizations and foundations. But we are mindful that every operation is unique, every tourism business is unique, and every conservation or community effort is unique. And so whether it is partnerships with procurement, whether it is social development with your community efforts, whether it's tracking life on land or climate action with your biodiversity or conservation teams, all of it is included within this beautiful suite of tools that we've created to make it everyone's responsibility and opportunity to participate in sustainability. So final next dot, please, Lauren. And so the point is, we've developed a really simple mobile application. As you'll see on the far left of the screen, you're running one operation with one objective, and we are that one centralized management platform to help capture and consolidate and unite and collaborate an entire team of individuals to have a mobile app. And each team member, whether they're in the environment team, the water team, the community, waste, climate, or energy team, however you want to organize your operation, they all have access to an application and can report the respective different data sets or KPIs or metrics that they might be trying to track. So then the sustainability manager on the far right has access to a lovely dashboard where their life becomes easy, because reporting sustainability isn't that difficult when you have access to the data. Getting the data is sometimes the most difficult part, because I might be getting pictures and messages on WhatsApp, on an Excel spreadsheet, on a Word document, from social media, from so many different sources. And then, of course, I'm going to start crying if I'm the sustainability manager and I have to build a report with data I can't even make sense of, because it's just coming from so many different people in so many different ways. And there's such a cool case study. I think some of the team are on this call today, where I'm going to hand over back to you, Rhea, about a team that's done this and started this long before Baotree even existed. So back to you, Rhea.
They started these initiatives when I just came back from Vietnam, I believe. Okay, next slide, please, Lauren. Okay, I'm talking about Discovery Coron. It's a beautiful resort in the Philippines. How many of you have been to Palawan, by the way? Any attendees from Palawan here or from the Philippines? Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so let's look at this Discovery Coron Palawan and learn from their actionable strategies. It's a good example of sustainability that is embedded in every layer of resort operations. They have this, what they call Eco Conserve program, which started just as a small initiative with 4 committees in 2016. And it has grown into a resort-wide movement that integrates sustainability in all the areas of their resort operations. And these committees have members from different departments. And what's nice is that the staff is allowed to choose the committee they wish to join. So these committees address key impact areas. On the left, we have the on the left part of the slide, is what they call GARMA, or garbage management, which focuses on responsible waste management and disposal. And they have strengthened their waste segregation. They have eliminated most single-use plastics and consistently upcycled materials like old wine bottles, becoming water containers, or old tires becoming hiking steps, and oversized wire spools being transformed into plant tracks. And they also encourage bring your own bottle policies. Second committee is called Sea Guardians. It's a committee dedicated to protecting marine life because they are located in the island of Palawan. They lead coral planting and biodiversity monitoring in partnership with the local government units and the Department of Environment and Natural Resources for data collection on turtles and endangered species. And they are also investing more in reef protection and mangrove restoration. Next is Green Thumb, which is more than just greening the space. They have organic farm called Taranuman, which turns kitchen scraps into compost, and they grow herbs and vegetables for the resort. Which means, it reduces the food miles because they really practice farm to table dining in the resort. And Few Chumps, which is a cute acronym. Few is actually fuel, energy, and water. So the committee is responsible for energy saving initiatives. They use dashboards. So I think for the Discovery Coron team, it might be useful for you to take a look at the Baotree. They currently use AI, I believe, for dashboards for real-time tracking of fuel, energy, and water. And this data helps identify the trends, cut inefficiencies, and make smart, eco-conscious operational decisions for the team. Even boat trips are optimized for fuel efficiency. So they're really implementing a lot of initiatives on this, on this area. And in the recent years, in response to the evolving community needs, they introduced Waves for Change. And they have programs like, very, very interesting programs. Bili ng Ani it's an initiative where staff can self-produce to the resort. They have also a pig racing income project involving the team members. Happy Sweepers is an initiative where they welcome locals from Coron and they prioritize, indigenous peoples in the Philippines and PWDs and undergraduates to provide them with additional income and support the housekeeping team in maintaining the cleanliness of the resort grounds. Another cool initiative is Happy Weavers, where they partner with the local Bambuhay Arts and Crafts organization to showcase and sell their handmade, locally made products at the resort. So, and this organization is a women-led business. So it's really a nice initiative and helps the local community as well. So each initiative that they are implementing are made actionable and it becomes part of the daily operations of the team of the resort. And each committee develop its own set of KPIs to align with the eco-conserve vision. And these KPIs guide their daily activities and help the staff see and understand how sustainability directly benefits the people, the team, the resort, the environment, and the long-term business success. So it's really a nice initiative that have started like 9 years ago before Travel Asia, now Asia Sustainable Travel and Baotree existed. So it's a nice initiative. We have another
Well,
case study to yes, Dimitri, you want to say something?
yeah, Ray, I just think, I know Freddie from Discovery Coron is on the call, but I just want to say this is such a cool initiative because sometimes in our organizations we fit into a department, but this is so unique because new departments were created for people to join their passion within a particular organization. And if I love the sea and the ocean, I join Sea Guardians. Or if I love to get my hands in the soil, I can join Green Thumb. Like, and I just think it's such a wonderful way to give agency and ownership and to enable your team to also choose what part of sustainability they actually want to contribute to. And therefore, people then work a little bit more when they're doing the things they love and not being forced to do. So I just thought it was such a lovely
initiative, right? Lovely
Yeah.
project, lovely program. Yeah, it becomes
Very
more
cool.
meaningful also. You don't just get everyone involved, but they get to do what they really are passionate about.
Yeah, amazing. That's all. Thanks.
Okay, moving to the next case study, Lauren. Okay, we have this one also. I have interviewed, Park Royal Collection, Manila Bay, and they have a nice story to tell, but also because their approach centers on these 4 key areas. They provide comprehensive sustainability training. I believe that a lot of hotels and a lot of properties are doing this. But what's unique about this is that sustainability training, they have made this as a part of their 60-day orientation program. And it's not just about the usual climate and global warming. So they include the whole, areas of sustainability. And the approach is really holistic. It includes, the heritage, the community, and how to integrate the sustainability-led practices into their day-to-day operations. And they also highlight the benefits of operating sustainably so that all the newcomers, all the new staff are, informed on, the environmental conservation, the cost savings, and the improved operational efficiency. And what's nice also is they have gamification to make learning fun and memorable. So the staff participate in like races around the hotel to identify the cultural sites and key tourist attractions in the area. So everybody is really involved in, understanding everything. And continuous learning and internal audits, of course, for improvement. So besides the continuous training, which I believe many properties are doing as well, the management also makes sure that the sustainability is really integrated into the staff's workflow. So initiatives are designed to align with existing responsibilities. So, for example, when they replace the plastic water bottles in guest rooms with reusable glass bottles, so without the plastic bottles, the housekeepers would now have to prepare glass bottles of water for guests in-room consumption, and they don't need to carry plastic bottles of water and keep inventory. But the guests are should the guests need to refill their water, a water filtration system is available in every guest room for guests to refill their bottles. So there's no additional workload in implementing the sustainability initiative. And of course, internal audits are conducted annually as part of their GSTC certification renewal to ensure that the associates are aware of the concept of sustainability and the initiatives implemented in the hotel. And last, of course, recognition and motivation, because recognition, as we all know, as human beings, is a huge motivator. So in the case of Park Royal Collection, the HR, or what they call People and Culture Department, they regularly organize events to reward the associates for their hard work, not just on sustainability-related efforts, but of course the whole hotel-wide operations. So for example, they shared that, they had this fruit fest featuring local fruits to celebrate their efforts during the busy Formula One season. So those types of events to demonstrate the appreciation of the management to help motivate the associates and all those employee of the month or those kind of recognition. And what the marketing and communications department also does is that they actively share news on the hotel sustainability awards, because this is a well-recognized, well-awarded, property in Singapore. So when they share this recognition with all the team members, with all the staff, so they of course have this sense of pride being an employee, being a part of the hotel, as they see their efforts have a direct impact on the hotel's achievements. Now, I think you have a case story to share also, Dimitri.
Thank
Over
you,
to
Ram.
you.
Thank you. So, Tim, actually saw a couple of names on here that are familiar, but some of our partners and clients, from Game Watchers to Land and Life Habitat, Sabi Sabi, Kotal Safari, I am speaking very much to the African continent. One of them is African Bush Camps. And like in the industry, you'll see there's a lovely human by the name of Nombuso. I did get her permission to share her photo in the bottom right-hand corner. Nombuso is based in Cape Town. And as you'll see on the top left, there's a map of 16 properties across 3 countries in Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. Now, Nombuso being based in Cape Town, it's very difficult for her to try and track sustainability on a daily or weekly or monthly basis without her physically being there. And so, thanks to Baotree, we've been able to enable Nombuso to have access to this beautiful dashboard you see on the right, where on the left, her team, she's effectively created Baotree Sustainability ABC Champions, where at each camp and lodge, there's one person responsible to provide the data that Nombuso needs to do her reporting to her investors, to the board, to her stakeholders, and also for the foundation efforts, because they do a lot of work in education, healthcare, and empowerment and conservation initiatives. And so the beauty for Nombuso is that she has a one-stop shop where all of her commercial entity of the camps and lodges, she gets all the water, waste, energy, information, data filtering through to the Baotree dashboard. And the team are the ones responsible for providing that information. And I loved what Rhea said with regards to recognition. Every human likes to be seen and likes to be known. That's why social media exists and is so addictive, because we post something and we hope we get 10 likes or 1,000 likes. I don't know which category people are in, but that hits something here in our endorphins that make us feel good. And so the same applies in business with employees and teams. And so across all these camps, people have access to the Baotree app based on the data that Nombuso needs. They are submitting that data through the app, and it comes into the dashboard where she can see and manage the operations sustainably from her office in Cape Town. And that's it from the case study side of things. Thanks, Lauren. I think back to you to round us off, Rhea.
Yeah, so after sharing some case studies and some success stories and some tips, we're here where we would like to leave you, as we always do, some actionable tips actionable tactics to help your team buy in. So we've listed down some here and some we already mentioned earlier. The first thing that we need to make sure actually is to get the internal alignment first. That's very important. So like some properties already do build sustainability into onboarding for every role and use gamification, races, quizzes, or competitions to keep the learning fun, and form cross-departmental committees with clear KPIs, like what Discovery Quran, for example, is doing, and ensure your mission and goals are clear to your people before sharing them externally. So it has to be clear first internally. There should be an alignment, internal alignment first. And then invite feedback from your team, whether via suggestion boxes or regular sustainability huddles or through your digital platforms. Regularly engage staff in feedback and peer learning, and make it personal. Help every employee connect sustainability to their role, whether it's cost savings, recognition, or healthier communities, because then recognize, achievements, both team achievements and individual achievements. And last is engage your guests. So train front office staff. This one is a very helpful initiative also, to communicate your mission and invite guests to join, whether it's tree planting activity or, beach cleanup activity, or using the refillable bottles in the room instead of buying plastic bottles from the groceries, or recognizing community source projects. And we believe that, truly embedding sustainability requires more than checklists and policies. It's about connecting on human level. And on the right side of this slide, what stood out in my conversation with Discovery Coron team is how a foundation of empathy and genuine understanding can turn a vision into a shared movement. And they have embraced these 4 key pillars in how they, communicate sustainability in their team. First is awareness. So they spark engagement by sharing real stories and results. So they make sustainability personal and memorable for every team member. And second is belief. They build trust by letting staff see the real impact of their actions. So achievement feels tangible, not abstract. And third is collaboration. So we see their collaboration across the departments, and it shows that every voice matters also, with every team, with all team members being part of the committee. And creative teamwork drives practical change. And finally, community. The activities and the programs, the projects they are collaborating with the local communities, involving women, involving even the indigenous peoples in the area. So it means that, success isn't just for the resort. It's about growing together with the local partners and organizations to create lasting benefits. And so by combining these pillars with the actionable tactics shared earlier, we can all create a culture of sustainability that inspires the team and drives meaningful change. I think we're down to our last slide, Dimitri.
I mean, the last one is very similar to my background. But Rhea, thank you. I know we've come to time. For those of you who need to hop off, you are welcome to. But I do see we have some questions that have come through. I can say that I know who these people are, and we can always talk about this offline and directly, but there's one that I can't answer. So, team, firstly, thank you for everyone just joining us today. I know in the world of remote working and living and working from home or wherever you might be, virtual webinars and sitting at home, it can be sometimes tired, but I hope we've brought some entertainment to your day or to your life a little bit. But part of what we just want to leave you with is, as you'll see, I like elephants. They're here in my background, and also Rhea had the first cover page image, so I was like, I want to do a takeover at the end. But we really believe in about engaging your entire herd, your entire pride, your clan, your team, your tribe, to have a way to just participate in this thing called sustainability, because we all are seeing today in the news the storms, the tsunamis. I don't want to come in with a negative picture, but the reality is that sustainability is ever more critical, and we need the many to come and join forces in terms of how we are tackling this issue, which is a global issue. It's not a Dimitri's issue or Rhea's issue or Lauren's issue. It's all of ours. And one day I'd love to have children and bring them into a world that they actually have the freedom and the space that I get to experience today in my life. And so anything that we can do for the future generations, I think, is prudent. But I'm going to now stop talking. And if those of you who would like to depart, you are welcome to. But I have put in the chat our LinkedIn's if you'd like to learn more or have a direct conversation. But really, thank you everyone for joining. And yeah, maybe we can go through some questions. Rhea, Lauren?
Yeah. So there are 3 questions that have come through in the chat. So for those who want to stay on and listen to the answers, you are welcome to do so. We will also share the recording with everybody afterwards. So if you do have to drop off, but are still interested in understanding our response to some of the questions, then you can always come back and have a look at those. So I want to go through the first one that's come in from Chris Kipper, who is an agroecologist and also is a community project coordinator at the Wildlife Habitat Trust, who specifically asks, how do green thumbs or organic farms ensure sustainable tourism? I don't know if either one of you want to pick that question up.
I'm not familiar with green thumbs. That's all Rhea in terms of what Cover Coron did there.
I have to think about also what green thumb, what does green thumbs here mean?
So for any organic
okay. Is
farms or
it,
farmings.
or was it the
Organic
initiative?
farms, yeah. So how would organic farms ensure sustainable tourism or contribute to it?
Rhea, would you like me to have a go?
Oh yeah, okay, Dimitri, yeah.
Okay, well, firstly, how's it, Chris? Look, sustainable tourism, regenerative agriculture, you are an agroecologist. The principle behind it is, how does one integrate your guest experience to understanding and to care about the food, the soil, where it comes from, and how does it also act as a point of education? So taking your staff back of house, not your staff, your guests, taking them back of house and actually showing them the vertical gardens or the regenerative agriculture or the sustainable organic farms that you might have, whether it is even at the community level, and showing that your supply chain works with communities to grow your tomatoes or your green bell peppers or whatever it might be. Just integrating that experience and not just focusing purely on get on the safari vehicle, have your morning and afternoon game drive, eat your breakfast, eat your lunch, have your high tea, and then your dinner. It's already a very jam-packed day. So how do you give optionality to your guests to actually experience what is where the food is coming from? Or sometimes chefs often will come out and talk to the guests to share. This is what we're eating tonight, and it came from ABC in terms of from the community. This is our relationship with them. This is why it matters. We also help them socially, economically, because we pay them for their produce. And so just building that story around the linkage of food and what is on the plate for your guests, and that could hopefully translate into a sustainable outcome for the guest experience. So I hope that semi answers your question.
And on top of the farm to table dining experience, farm tours are also becoming popular. So that is something that can be organized if with either hotel guests if you are operating separately from the hotel. So farm tours involving not just individual guests but the whole family. There are also activities organized by the hotels for children to get them to do some basic gardening or learn about basic planting. So those are the types of activities that can be organized involving involving organic farming.
Lovely. I'm gonna pick up two more questions in the chat, if that is all right with both of you. So the next one that comes in is from Daniel Mamai, and he has mentioned that he's happy to see that there are case studies on sustainability and how to make everybody feel included through participating in company management. And he specifically asks, in their case, they work with rangers in conservancies to protect wildlife and conserve nature. Do we have any suggestions of how they can involve rangers to work as teams, building to achieve sustainability in their organization?
Yeah,
Well,
rangers are actually great team members because they are the ones doing the rounds in the areas. So involving them as tour guides, for example, are good initiatives because they'll be able to explain the wildlife in the area and the conservation efforts being implemented by the properties, because there are many there's one property of Bill Pensley in Cambodia, I believe, that is involving rangers as part of the sustainability initiatives in the resort. But I'm sure in your place, Dimitri, there are a lot of projects involving rangers.
yeah, and well, Daniel's a client from
Oh,
Game One.
okay. Okay.
And so I have a little more context because Daniel, nice to see you here. The rangers are collecting data on wildlife sightings. And right now, that data is coming to Daniel's dashboard. And so the suggestion is that how do we take that information, that data, and actually give it back to the person responsible who entered the information so that the rangers can see what their contribution was, and it goes back to that desire to be recognized. And that helps to build the team around sustainability. But also, Daniel, it's also taking some of your other data, whether it's the beekeeping, whether it's the other initiatives with community, and also equipping the rangers with that, because if they are also the ones taking guests on experiences and safaris, equipping them with the knowledge to know what else Game Watchers and Puruni Camps is doing, will give them the ability to also spread that message. And again, feel, I guess, lack of a better word, but have additional empowerment on top of their current power in their space of monitoring this wildlife ecosystem. And so I think that'll just be such a lovely way to give them the insight and the outcome of what their job is in terms of reporting, which would be such a nice closed loop on that. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to pose one final question that has also come in through the chat, which comes from Nahid, also from Wildlife Habitat Trust. And it's, I think, quite an interesting one that breaks beyond engaging your team, but actually looking at roles and job descriptions. So his question specifically looks at, do we have any suggestions on how to find a happy balance between having sustainability responsibilities mandatory in some roles and voluntary in others? Especially tricky when employees' job descriptions have already been developed and agreed upon. So any suggestions on how to sort of overcome that or add that either as voluntary or mandatory?
Nice question, Nahid.
I believe it always starting small. I think, integrate sustainability gradually, because there will always be some newcomers in the industry who will not find embracing sustainable, or will not take sustainability practices positively. So incorporate sustainability into existing responsibilities rather than overhauling job descriptions. So for example, for housekeeping role, include ensuring proper waste segregation as part of their daily tasks. And that is a sustainability-led initiative, and it should always be a part of a housekeeping duty. But this small initiatives is always something that we can, that a hotel can always implement, and do some pilot programs on what you have started to establish. Very important also, I believe, is role specific initiatives, but we have to also make sure that they do understand how it affects the overall sustainability goals, to make sure that they realize that they are doing something small, but it contributes to the overall sustainability goals. And I think that will help in changing their perception that, doing something small, something is specific, will help them. And as we mentioned earlier, this recognition, I think, will help in, and providing training and support. But yeah, I think revisiting, as what you have mentioned here, revisiting job descriptions collaboratively with, with the management, the HR, and the newcomers will be helpful to nurture a culture of ownership, and implementing sustainability initiatives.
Rhea, I think you've hit the nail on the head. Team, whoever's worked for a corporate or any organization to that point, when you have your performance review annually or quarterly, there are particular KPIs or objectives that are subject to whether you achieve them or not, that determine whether you get a promotion, whether you get no promotion, or you go completely out of the organization through ways we never want anyone to go through. One should start looking, because compliance and sustainability is becoming mandated in many regions, and it's no longer a nice to have, but it's becoming a must have, with certification, regulation, and just other standards that we need to comply with. Integrating it into job descriptions, whilst he'd say they may have already been written, this topic is that we need to change the dinosaurs and the legacy thinkers and how they've always done their work, because we're in a place and stage where business isn't as usual, and we need to adapt. And if we're not adapting and changing and constantly evolving based on the needs of the organization to uphold its values from a sustainability point of view, or even its core company values, every employee should be accountable to contributing to that, and should be part of that actual recognition component, or seeing whether or not, if it is someone with relevance. Don't give the ranger the responsibility to track and monitor the solar energy system, or don't give the back of house staff member the responsibility to track the community efforts. Obviously, within one's roles and responsibilities, you can find the workflow that makes sense. So change dinosaur thinking, optimize your team to support sustainability based on their KPIs, and create incentive mechanisms to actually drive that outcome, would be my suggestion.
And Sheen from Batu. Hello, Sheen. Thank you for sharing what you're doing at Batu. So she mentioned in the chat, each year we sit down with immediate managers to discuss our personal development KPIs. And part of that would be integrating sustainability into our KPIs. And, says, it summarizes everything that we mentioned, Dimitri, right? It has to be part of the KPI. What Discovery Coron is doing also. So thank you for sharing your stories as well. Thank you, Shane.
Well, thank you very much to both of you. That is all the questions that have come through in the chat, but I want to also round out a final thought, and that sometimes sustainability can be this overwhelming concept of lots of moving parts, and overcoming barriers of actually how to integrate that into your practices from a business point of view, from a personal point of view, is a lot easier to do when you break it down into smaller components and start building on from there. So engaging your team from the manager side to team on the ground to all of your stakeholders is a really key way, an essential way to be able to do that and create a sustainability mindset within your organization. So thank you so much to both of you for taking us through your thoughts and thinking. And thank you very much for everybody joining. I recognize that we are over time. I will make sure that our next series of webinars, we allot for a little bit more time and go into some deeper depths of topics. If there's anything that you want more information about, or if you want some practical tips or want to explore more either with Baotree or AST and TAN, please feel free to reach out to everybody involved. And if you have any topics for webinars that you want to hear more information about, also pop us an email and we will see if we can maybe bring you in or see how we can format that topic to provide more information to everybody. So thank you once again, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you so much. Thank you.
Bye.